Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. In this episode, I'm taking a look at Dicetopia by Tobias Hall, published by All or None Games. And this is a 2 to 4 player game in which you're trying to get dice from a board and you're placing your cubes on the board and you're manipulating dice, you're exchanging dice in order to try and get as much points as you can by playing out certain missions that you have on your cards. It's a quick game. It plays in about 20 to 30 minutes tops, and it has really nice components, as you will see. So let's open up the box. I'll set up a game and explain the rules, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So let's have a look at what you find in a box of Dicetopia. So we've got the box. It's relatively small, nice and portable. We have an image of the game in play on the back right there. So let's open up the box. There we go. That was a tight fit. So inside the box we have these trackers, these boards, basically small boards that have slots in them to put your dice in. So we got 4 of those. All right, I'll just leave them in there. We have multiple cubes, transparent plastic cubes in black, red, yellow, and blue. All right. Of course, we have dice. That's what the game is all about. So we've got white, blue and purple transparent dice, which is really nice. They're not that big, they're relatively small, but they're really nice. So you get, let's see, 8 of each. So those go there. We've got some Ziploc bags, which is always handy. I love it when people do that, to put tokens in and stuff. So there's a punch board here. And your cards probably will fit in there as well. So we've got 2 decks of cards here. We got some silica gel. We got these character boards. So let me see if I can open those up real quick. All right, let's have a closer look at those. So we have Tulu priests. Are they double-sided? Yes, they are. And are they the same on both sides? Oh, there. It's the language. So this is the German version and a French version. All right. We have the Chakra Pirates, Roamers, Perceptionaires, Hollows. Liking the artwork so far. We've got Evo following. Okay. We've got Dangmer Program. The Century Bureau. We've got Bing My Gamblers. And the Bangsa Corps. And we have these faction cards. And these are in English. All right, so we do have English. I'm a little bit worried there. So we've got these 2. And these are not double-sided. So they could have added a 4th language. But I don't know why. So probably didn't have the funds for another translation. In any case, you get English faction cards. And these with the German and the French ones as well. So that's at least 3 languages there. We got 5 of these tokens in different colors. So let's have a look at that. There we go. So 5 of those. We have this score tracker. And it's also double-sided. We have one here that goes from 1, so every time, so, you know, to 100 from left to right, bottom to top. And we have this one, which works differently. That goes that way. So whichever you prefer. Then in the bottom. I'm gonna have to shake that out. There's stuff in here. The boards are in here, so, and they're packed really tightly. Right, so first of all we have, of course, the rules in French, English and German. And the rule book is relatively thin, so that's like 4 pages here. We have this with the overview and the setup. We've got a game round, the actions you can take, and when the end of the game happens. We have an overview of the mission cards and the factions here as well, which is handy, and some terms and credits. So that's all very nice and compact. And then we have this board, which is in the center of the game. As you can see here, there it is, where the dice go. So they also have these indentations. It's double layered. So a layered board, and the top has these cutouts. So your dice will fit in there nicely. And that looks really nice and colorful. And it's a bit glossy. So that's the playing board. That's everything that's in the box. Let's set up a game. To set up Dicetopia, you first randomly determine who gets to be the start player by rolling a die, for example. And then you take all the faction cards and either deal out a card or just randomly pick a card. And that player puts that card in front of themselves. Then each player takes one of these faction boards with 6 of these cubes in their color. And there's also a 7th cube that is used for scoring. You take your corresponding ability token, and then you take all the dice and you roll them and randomly place them on spots on the board. For games with less than 4 players, remove 2 dice of each color for every missing player and do not put dice on the spaces marked for more players with a 3 or a 4. Next, you shuffle the mission cards and deal 3 cards to each player. That player looks at their cards, decides which 2 to keep, and discards 1. And if you're familiar enough with the game, you can also add these scenario cards. You either randomly or selectively pick one of these cards, and that adds an extra rule to the game. Now you're ready to play? Let's explain the rules. So I've set up the game for 3 players here, leaving out the spots with the 4 on it, and 2 dice of each color. And starting with the first player and in clockwise order, each player swaps out one of their agents from left to right with one of the dice on the board. The board is divided into 6 different neighborhoods, and all of these neighborhoods have a different ability. So every time you would swap out one of your agents with one of the dice in one of these neighborhoods, you simply place that die on your own faction board, and then if possible you perform the action of the neighborhood you put your agent in. So the 6 different neighborhood actions are here: the agency, which lets you draw a mission card from the mission deck, and then you get to look at that, and then you decide which out of the 3 that you currently own gets discarded back to the bottom of the deck, and that can be that same card, and you just put it on the bottom again. The Goo Goo Air Force lets you re-roll a die in any neighborhood or on any faction board. So you can also re-roll a die from an opponent. The Waste Management Facility lets you swap an agent in a neighborhood with a die in another neighborhood that is on the board. The Twilight Congress lets you swap out 2 dice on 2 different neighborhoods on the board. The Observatory Bank lets you swap a die in a neighborhood on the board with a die on a faction board. And the Nethal Syndicate lets you swap places between 2 dice on faction boards. So keeping in mind the missions that you have, you're going to swap out dice with your agents until all players have swapped out all 6 of their agents with dice. And at that point, the game ends and all your victory points are summed up on the score track. All players have an extra cube that they can place next to the score track and use that to tally up their points. To score points, first you tally up all the pips of all the dice on your faction board. Then you check to see in which neighborhood you have domination. That means the majority of agents in a neighborhood gets you 5 points. And if tied for domination, the players share the victory point value rounded up. And then finally, you have your mission cards, and you just check to see if you fulfilled these mission objectives, and you get that many points as is printed on the cards. And then, of course, the player with the most victory points wins the game. Each faction has a different special ability. This one, for example, has rigging, may once per game decide upon a winner if there is a tied domination in a neighborhood, and if you do that, you simply flip your special ability token, indicating that you've used it. The rulebook has a list of all the factions and their special abilities listed here, as well as a list of all the different mission cards that you can find in the deck. And that is all you need to know how to play Dicetopia. Let's go to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on Dicetopia by All or None Games. Let me start with the presentation. So the presentation is very good. I like the fact that the dice are so nice and shiny. They come in 3 translucent colors. You've got these cubes that come in 4 translucent colors. The theme that they used for the game is the high-tech, futuristic neon lights setting. And I really like that. It's very visually attractive, and you just want to grab all those shiny dice and just toy with them, and it looks really, really nice. The components are good. I mean, the cards are of a good thickness. They are well printed. The colors are vibrant and colorful. The tokens are thick enough, and you just need only these round tokens that show if you use your special ability or not. The transparent cubes are, of course, of a standard plastic quality that you see in many games, and they look good. The dice are really nice. They're rounded, they're transparent, like I said, really beautiful. So the component quality overall is very good, and it all fits in this compact box. It's very tight though. You have to manipulate how you put everything back in the box because in addition to the English cards, there are also French and German cards, which is a good thing. It comes in 3 languages, but if you're holding on to all of those cards, it can get a bit tight, but it does fit into this box. The rules are easy and short. They're simple. It's just this little booklet, and it only has a few pages to read through, and a few of those pages are a summary of what all the different factions do and what all the different mission cards do, and then the back of the box of the booklet is just credits. So there's not a whole lot of pages that you need to read through. It's about 5 pages. So that's all you need to learn, and it teaches very easily. It's very quick. The game lasts about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 40 for your first playthrough, so that's pretty quick, and you're likely to say, let's play another game after you've finished one, and it plays 2 to 4 players, and I think it balances nicely. It plays just as nice with 2 players as it does with 3 or 4 players, so that's good as well. The theme itself, though, is not very relevant for the game. You're playing these syndicates, these factions that are placing agent from their board onto the city in these 6 neighborhoods, and they're exchanging their agents. They're basically getting you these resources in 3 colors. I don't even remember what those resources are. They were, let's see, weapons, information, and money. But you don't care about that. It's nice that they went through the effort to get a theme that kind of works. I do like the chosen theme. I do like the artwork and the sci-fi futuristic vibe they're going for. It makes the game very visually appealing and blingy. But for the gameplay itself, it doesn't really matter. It's not really relevant. Now, personally, I don't mind that much. I appreciate the effort they did for bringing in some kind of theme, but it's really just a dice placement game and some manipulation. So that's really all there is to it. But to me, it does work that way. So it's fine. Like I said, it's a positive point that it comes in 3 languages as well. So that's good. So all in all, I really enjoy the game. I like that there are a whole lot of mission cards. There is plenty of them. It's a big stack of cards, and you only play with 2, you get 3, you pick 2 of them, but during the game you can also get dice in this neighborhood and get an extra card and see if you want to keep that or discard another one. So that's fun as well. You'll never, or not often, get the same mission card, so it has a high replayability factor, and there are plenty of factions to choose from with that one special ability that's different every time as well. So replayability is also very good. So all in all, like I said, it's a really nice game, giving it a big thumbs up. I really enjoy this. It's quick, it's fun, plays 2 to 4 players. So that is Dicetopia. There is also an expansion for this game called Rolling with the Punches that adds, I believe, a 5th player and an extra board. So that's also worth checking out if you think this appeals to you. Alright, so that was my review. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get a notification whenever I upload a new video. And I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.